We begin tonight with the race against time for the coastal Bend region to secure a reliable water source. The governor this week threatening to have the state step in and intervene if things don't progress faster and get into motion. Our Natalia Zuna is here now with how state leaders are chiming in and working together to bring forth a solution here. Natalia?
Leslie, well, earlier this afternoon, the state legislative delegation made up of 4 state leaders who represent our region held a meeting to discuss the water crisis and what they can do to support the city of Corpus Christi. I spoke with Representative Denise Villalobos, who shares what she and other state officials talked about.
For years, water has taken the spotlight in many conversations for the city of Corpus Christi. And this week, that spotlight intensified.
What Corpus Christi leaders have to do is make a decision. We can only give them a little time more before the state of Texas has to take over.
Governor Greg Abbott calling on city leaders to take action in securing a reliable water supply for their residents. Corpus Christi leaders responded, some even firing back. The mayor saying an emergency meeting will be called soon to move desal forward. In the meantime, the local state delegation met to discuss what they can do to help. Names you'll recognize:
myself, Chairman Todd Hunter, Senator Chuy Hinojosa, and Senator Adam Hinojosa.
Representative Denise Villalobos says the delegation plans to prioritize 2 key items.
The biggest item, I think, is the LNRA, the Lavaca Navidad River Authority. Right now, they're nearing their first curtailment period, 10% coming, I believe it's on April 20th.
Why that's important? The Lavaca Navidad River Authority, or LNRA, manages Lake Texana. LNRA officials project that levels could drop below 50% next month. In that event, the amount of water Corpus Christi and other water customers receive would be curtailed by 10%. That's about 4 million gallons per day. That curtailment that could begin next month.
Seeing if there's any communication we can do or to help elevate to push that back or to maybe exempt Corpus Christi due to the situation that we're in.
Villalobos saying another item they plan to prioritize are permits with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality.
The city had made a request out to us concerning the eastern and western well fields.
Corpus Christi Councilmember Mark Scott saying he appreciates the state's support.
We're pursuing the current projects. We need help from the state, and I help articulate that request of the governor and the other state offices. We need help with our western wells permits, a bed and banks permit. We filed the permit.
Describing the water crisis as an all-hands-on-deck situation.
We need that approved. As soon as we can get that approved, we can put more water in the river, which we all want.
And of course, weather remains a critical piece of this story.
Absolutely, Natalia. You know, every Thursday we do get an updated look at the drought monitor. So for the very latest data there, let's go ahead and bring in Chief Meteorologist Carly Smith. Hey, Carly.
Yeah, Leslie and Natalia, here's a look at that drought monitor, which of course has a lot of red. That is not a good sign. We have extreme and exceptional drought, and that's likely only getting worse. Now, we did see a little bit of rain across the watershed. It was not a lot, but it was a little bit. But something I want us to remember is that we are naturally in a hot and arid region. So based on climate studies from decades ago, years ago, and it continues to be updated though, but this part of Texas is a hot and arid climate. That's 10 to 20 inches of rain expected in that climate type. That's not a lot of rain, and that's where our watershed mostly is. Then the rest of Texas, for the most part, especially the eastern half, which does include portions of the coastal bend and the watershed, we do expect more than 20 inches of rain. Some areas even more than that, closer to 40, 60 inches of rain. But through Corpus Christi, our average yearly rainfall is about 30 inches of rain. And so we do have fully humid and hot summers, which do intensify our evaporation as well because it is so hot. So a lot of things factor into how much water we have. We should expect to not have a ton of water though, and especially for Choke Canyon, something that is worth noting is we did have 2 periods when you just break it down into 5-year chunks. We had 2 periods of abundant rainfall leading up to the worst drought across Texas when the drought monitor was that deep red exceptional drought pretty much across the entire state. That was in 2011. Since then, especially us here in South Texas, we have not fully recovered, I don't think, from that drought. And as you can see, we did get almost normal between 2016 and 2020, but then the period from 2021 to 2025, we were well below normal with our rainfall. In fact, that is the worst period in this time frame from 1990 to 2025, the worst 5-year period that we've had, even worse than 2011 to 2015. But 2015 was a surplus year across much of the state. So a lot goes into this data, and I just try to break it up into chunks that are understandable for you. But if this number, the lake level percentage in 1990, starts at 61.4%. So I didn't start it at a 100% range. By the way, the last time our combined lake level was at 100%, that was in 2008. So that was right before that really horrible drought that led into 2011. Leslie.